and Philadelphia has it.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of DSM Pre Game Live. I'm your host, Scotty. You can find me at Scotty Drown on all social media platforms. Of course, you are watching us here live on the DSM Media YouTube channel streaming platform. Be sure to go over to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, turn the notifications on so you're notified every single time we go live. As you should know by now, if you're a Sixers fan, if you're tuning in, we're going to get into the Chicago Bulls at the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. Our usual, obviously, Dylan's not with me here tonight. He had a major loss in his family, so definitely sending my my love and blessings and prayers to Dylan and his family. But nonetheless, we do still have a game to get into here tonight, so I got you guys covered. Before we get into all of that, of course, I have to shout out my sponsors over at Gents Barber Lounge. DSM Media is brought to you by Gents Barber Lounge. Check out one of the two great locations in Fishtown and Old City and book your appointment today. Gents owns the craft, and it shows, rated the #1 barbershop on Yelp in the Philadelphia area. Multiple award-winning barbers and being able to handle any style of cut, adult or kid. Guys, make sure you head over to Gents Barber Lounge. That is our #1 sponsor. They will definitely get you taken care of if you're in the Philly area and need a haircut. Take a look at some of their work right here. Perfect. Shout out to Gents Barber Lounge. Be sure to head over to gentsbarberlounge.com to book your appointment today. And I want to shout out our other sponsors over at Luxodent.com. Be sure to check out Luxodent.com. Use code DSM at checkout for 25% off and free shipping. And of course, as I said earlier, make sure you're subscribing to that DSM Media YouTube page. That is where we are trying to grow the most. And we are about 4 subscribers from the 700 mark. We're trying to get to that $1,000 mark, obviously, so we can get monetized. If we get monetized, then we can bring better content, better opportunities for our audience, for our content creators here. So it all works in the positive flow. If you just hit that subscribe button, we appreciate you. That being said, let's get into tonight's action. We got the Chicago Bulls coming into Philly to take on the Philadelphia 76ers, obviously. The Sixers are coming into this game with an 11-game home win streak. So they're trying to build that to 12. Obviously, they had the win streak going before the big loss to New Orleans last week. Trying to build that back up. They've won 3 straight. They've won 11 straight at home. So they're trying to build here. On the other end of things, you have the Chicago Bulls coming off a huge win. It's been a disappointing season for the Bulls, right? You have the Levine rumors come out a little bit recently. Basically, he didn't want him to come out, but he's unhappy with his usage in Chicago. He's unhappy with his situation there. So it's interesting to see, hey, you just re-signed back there, guy. You could have left in free agency. You could have went and picked and choose wherever you wanted to go. So nonetheless, there's a little bit of turmoil in Chicago, but they were able to come away with a huge win. Not a big win, a huge win against those streaking Brooklyn Nets who had went into that game with 12 straight wins. So Chicago was able to knock them off. Of course, they were playing in Chicago, but nonetheless, that was a streaking Brooklyn Nets team. And I definitely didn't see that coming, especially where the Chicago Bulls are at right now. But nonetheless, that shows you exactly what they're capable of on any given night. Before we get into the gist, as we always do, keys to victory, predictions, goal of the night, best bets, of course, we're going to end the show with, as always. Wanted to talk a little bit about the Pacers game from the other night. I believe it was Wednesday night. The Sixers hosted the Pacers in Philadelphia. In that game, this game was an interesting game, man, because there's so many positives that you can take from this win without Embiid. But on the other end of things, there's some negatives too, right? Some major negatives, I would say. So let's just give you a complete overview of what happened here. We had the 129-126 win for the 76ers in overtime. It did take them overtime to beat the Indiana Pacers. You had Philadelphia. They were up 13 going into the fourth. So that's where you can start to paint the picture of what was negative in this game. You're up 13 going into the fourth quarter. Somehow you end up in overtime winning this game by 3. That's a little bit concerning. You look at the players in this game. We had James Harden with 26 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, 8 for 20 from the field, 2 for 8 from the three-point line. Not the greatest shooting night for Harden, but nonetheless putting the work in elsewhere. 8 for 10 from the line, so he was able to get to the free throw line. He looked aggressive, 25-plus points. You can't complain too much about what Harden did, especially with the win. He also had 2 blocks in this game, one of them being a game-sealing block. I believe it was against Benedict Mathurin. Tobias Harris in this game, 19 points, 10 rebounds. He had a double-double, 3 assists, 1 for 5 from the three-point line. I'm still looking for Tobias Harris to get back on track from that three-point arc. Tyrese Maxey had his best games back since injury, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Sort of filled the stat sheet, something we're a little bit used to from Tyrese Maxey. 6 for 16 from the field, 1 for 4 from the three-point line. So want to see the efficiency pick up there, kick up a notch. But nonetheless, best game from Tyrese Maxey so far since he's been back. DeAnthony Melton, 19.7 rebounds, 5 for 8. My man D-Melt, he's a hell of an X factor. It's hard to predict when he's going to go off for one of those 5 3-pointer type of nights. But this man, it feels like it's happened so often during this season where he's kind of saved the night. He hit some big threes in OT and fourth quarter in this game. D-Melt is a key piece to this Sixers team. A lot bigger than what I could have ever imagined, even being my favorite addition of the offseason over PJ Tucker. DeAnthony Melton has been nothing short of impressive this season. Montrezl Harrell was great in this game. 19 points, 5 rebounds, 8 for 9 from the field. Obviously, you'd like to see him rebound the ball a little bit better, but aside from that, 1 missed shot in the game. This is the Montrezl Harrell that you thought you were signing. And probably everybody that signed him since he was 6th man of the year for the Clippers a few years ago. This is the Montrezl Harrell you probably thought you were getting whenever you make those moves to bring him in. Ultimately, you get that in a good amount of minutes for Montrezl. Finally sees the court for a nice amount of time, obviously, with Embiid out. Misses 1 shot, active, obviously getting the crowd fired up, getting them pumped. Loved what I saw from Trez in this one. And then over on the other side, you had Tyrese Halliburton, 16 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds. I really love Tyrese Halliburton's game. Didn't shoot the ball great in this one. Obviously didn't score the ball well with only 16 points. But the 12 assists, 7 rebounds, he fills the stat sheet. He makes winning plays. He's not scared of the moment. Just really love what I see from Halliburton. You see similar things from Benedict Mathurin. He's not scared of anyone. He goes to James Harden, goes to PJ Tucker. Doesn't matter. These guys, they got a bright future ahead, because then you look on the other side of things. Buddy Hield, he's a little bit older than those guys. He's starting to find a little bit of a groove there in Indiana as well. 24 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. He was 6 for 14 from the three-point line. So he's starting to find his groove, right? He's starting to find his mark there in Indiana. Getting out of Sacramento, kind of a toxic situation, at least since Buddy's been there. It's kind of been rumored that he wanted out of there for the longest. So good to see him kind of coming to life in Indiana. Nonetheless, good win for the Sixers. You look at this game, 7 players for the Philadelphia 76ers are in double digits. Very seldomly do you see that. So that was a rare occurrence. And then you talk about other things, blue moon occurrences here. Sixers won the rebounding battle against the Indiana Pacers. Only won it by 1 rebound, but a win is a win on the boards. And they won the turnover battle here against the Indiana Pacers. So anytime you win those 2 battles, specifically for the Philadelphia 76ers, you should end up with a W. You win the rebounding battle, you win the turnover battle, which means we're limiting fast break points as much as we can. You should win that said game. They were able to do that. Would like to see them play at full capacity for a full 48 minutes. But nonetheless, you take the W, especially when you're talking about a game without Joel Embiid, right? So let's move to the Chicago Bulls. Obviously, don't want to spend too much time on the Pacers. We already did that on Wednesday night. Got the W. We move on. We move in stride. By the way, turnover battle. We did win the turnover battle. That actually was our goal of the night from Wednesday night, so we were successful in that as well. So our coaching helped the Sixers here on Sixers pregame. So if you guys have any tips for the Sixers tonight, be sure to put it in the comments there if you got any suggestions for goal of the game. I got something in mind, but if you have better suggestions out there, I'm not against changing. I'm a guy who approves of change in this world. So be sure to let me know in the comments. Want to take a look at Chicago, right? Get us prepared for who we're playing against tonight. So 17-21 on the season, 10th that earns them the 10th spot in the Eastern Conference on the season so far. They are 7-12 on the road, so below 500 when they are on the road, as they are tonight. They've won one straight, obviously coming off the big win against the Nets. The Nets were on a 12-game winning streak in that one, so that was a huge win. That was a great win for Chicago. And they're 6-4 in their last 10. So in the last 10 games, they're trending positively, right? They're above 500 in their last 10. Versus the Philadelphia 76ers on their side of things, they're 23-14 after the W against Indiana, coming in with 3 straight Ws. They are currently 5th in the Eastern Conference, 16-5 at home, so they play really well at home, obviously. And 11 straight wins at home, right? Just to kind of back up that notion. Aside from that, they're 8-2 in their last 10. So obviously we know the Sixers have been playing some really good ball in their the last month or on basically the whole month of December and then into January so far. The Sixers have been playing pretty well. You look at the 4 major categories that NBA.com ranks these teams: points per game, rebounds per game, assists per game, opponents' points per game. For the Chicago Bulls, points per game, 14th in the NBA. So in the top half. Rebounding, 23rd in the NBA, so bottom half. Assists per game, 18th, bottom half. Opponents' points per game, 18th, bottom half of the NBA. Flip it over to the 76ers, 18th in points per game, bottom half. Rebounds per game, 28th, bottom, not bottom half, bottom. Assists per game, 16th, so that's technically bottom half. And then opponents' points per game, second. They are the second rated defensive team in the NBA, which is obviously a good thing and probably the most important when you look at this matchup tonight. That being with Embiid, right? They're the second rated defensive team with Embiid, gave up 126 points to the Indiana Pacers on Wednesday night. So that's not a good thing. Sixers are 6-3 without Joel Embiid this season. So above 500 without Joel Embiid. Let's get into keys to victory. Let's not waste any more of your time there. Keys to victory, what I'm looking at tonight, not looking up. We will be looking up at the TV shortly, but nonetheless, looking at right now to get you guys prepared for this game. Keys to victory. First one being the backup center. I talked a lot about Montrezl Harrell, his contributions in that last game against Indiana. Had the 19 points, 5 rebounds, 8 for 9 from the field. Only missed one shot in that game. He was locked in, getting the crowd hype, screaming at the crowd. Loved what I was seeing from Trez on Wednesday night. We need that again, right? We need that in some shape or form again tonight. The backup center, which is now your starting centers, that's plural. They're starting now, right? They're no longer backups. Whether it's PJ Tucker starting at the 5, Montrezl Harrell starting at the 5, Paul Reed playing at the 5. These are your starting centers, right? Going into this game. And it's going to be huge tonight because you're going against Nikola Vucevic, right? And I get it, right? He's 2-time All-Star center in this league. Little overrated from time to time. Some people hype him up. Some people underrate him. It's kind of similar to Tobias Harris in a sense to me. I think that's a good comparison. Vucevic will give you a double-double a night. Might be anywhere from 10 to 20 points. He'll give you 10 rebounds. And he'll give you 1 to 3 threes on any said night. He can space the floor. He has a complete post game, right? He can do a lot of things. He can score the basketball. He's a very good offensive-minded center. It's on the defensive end where he has his lapses. But I look at him in the same light as like a Tobias Harris, where kind of gets a little too much credit from some people, probably gets a little not enough credit from others, right? A little underrated, a little overrated, but never right where they are. I look at those players the same. So tonight we got to be smart against Vucevic. He's a talented, skillful, smart offensive player. He can get guys like Montrezl Harrell into foul trouble, different guys like that. Paul Reed, obviously, is a guy who struggles with stupid fouls. And then PJ Tucker, obviously, you don't want to get him in foul trouble, especially given who they're going to be guarding tonight. I imagine he spent some time on DeRozan. So you got to be careful with these guys tonight, and it's going to be huge. You saw the difference that Montrezl Harrell made in that game with 19 points, 5 rebounds. Sixers only won that game by 3 points. So they needed that, right? They're going to need something similar again tonight against this Vucevic-led front court. And I think they can do it, right? You give that trio some time there. You just got to pick the right ones on the right night, right? If it's a Paul Reed night, you got to hope it's a Paul Reed night, right? But Doc's been fairly good with that so far this season as far as identifying where the good matchups are there. So I'll give him a little bit of credit there. My second key to victory, guys have to step up. So that falls in line with the first key to victory as far as the backup center options stepping up. Guys in general have to step up outside of James Harden. We know James Harden's going to give you what he gives you, about 20 to 25 points. Maybe he gets up to that 30-point mark, but 20 to 25 points, 8 to 12 assists, about anywhere from 3 to 7 rebounds, right? He's averaging 22, 10, and 5 on the season. That's what you're going to get from Harden on any given night on averages. So we need some other guys to step up, right? Obviously, Harden could give you a surplus on what he provides night to night, but you're going to need it from somewhere else as well. You saw in the last game, once again, Montrezl Harrell played really well. So did 6 other guys. They scored double digits, right? 7 guys total scored double digits for the Sixers in this game. Who's going to be the guys tonight, right? We saw DeAnthony Melton hit the 5 threes against the Pacers. We saw Tyrese Maxey give us a little bit of surge in the fourth quarter in overtime, right? Who's going to be the guy tonight? Montrezl Harrell comes out, has a good game, only misses 1 shot in that game. Who's going to be the guy tonight? Can it be Paul Reed? Can PJ Tucker show us any signs of life? Does Tobias Harris have a hot night? Can Tyrese Maxey get over that hump after injury and finally have one of those Tyrese Maxey, the franchise-esque nights? I think that's what I'm leaning on the most tonight, honestly. Tyrese Maxey, and maybe I haven't talked about that enough during the show here. Just him getting re-implemented in this lineup. I'm going to talk about it a little bit later, so I won't spend time on it now. But Tyrese Maxey, I think, is a guy that could have a big night tonight. Number 3, as far as keys to victory, play the full 48 minutes. We need a full 48 minutes from you guys tonight, from the Sixers, because we just haven't gotten that recently, right? In the Pacers game, they get off to the hot start. They get the double-digit lead going into the fourth, and then they give it up, end up having to win in overtime. On the other side of things, we've seen a bunch of games where the Sixers start slow, and then they have to fight their way back from a double-digit deficit in the second half to get back into the game or win the game. Little J Money Lifestyle Vlogs. What is good, Little J Money? Thank you for checking in. I appreciate you nonetheless. Hopefully you're checking out Sixers and Bulls tonight. Excuse me. But nonetheless, play the full 48 minutes. We need full energy. Be Scotty with the bag. Hey, you already know. We got to go. But no, play the full 48 minutes tonight. You gotta give us a full 48. They just haven't done that. Even with Embiid, you get off to the slow. It's either one or the other. It's been you get off to a slow start, and then you have to fight back from double-digit deficit, or we saw the opposite end against the Pacers. You get off to a fast start, get the double-digit lead going into the fourth, and blow that. Have to win an OT. Against OKC, for instance, we did see a full complete game, but that's OKC. That's Oklahoma City Thunder. So I want to see the full 48 tonight. Chicago, on the other side of things, look at it from Chicago's perspective right now. They're 10th. They're 10th in the Eastern Conference right now, record-wise. They're playing for something, right? Every game means something for Chicago right now. They're below 500. They have to get back in the race to get in the playoff picture in the Eastern Conference. So you think about the Chicago Bulls, you get up by 10, 15 tonight on the Chicago Bulls in Philly. Chicago Bulls aren't going away. It's either now or never for them, right? Because soon it's going to be time to start shipping guys off. It's It's going to be time for them to start selling if they don't start winning. They just got a big win at home against the Brooklyn Nets, who had won 12 straight. Why wouldn't they be confident that not only can they win this game, but if they get down early, why can't they get back in it against a Sixers team who, quite honestly, has not played a full 48 minutes? This is the team. If you're playing the Sixers, I'm never giving up. I'm never giving up because there's always a chance, because the Sixers, they have this tendency to go on stagnant droughts on offense where they just can't buy a bucket. That stuff has to stop. That even happens when Embiid is in the game. That can't happen, right? That's not a winning tendency. And so that has to change. They have to play a full 48 minutes. I can't emphasize it enough. Take care of business, man, and you will win this game. Birthday boy says, what up, and shout out. Yeah, shout out to the birthday boy, Elijah, turning 1 year old today. Hopefully I didn't give out too much of his government, but happy birthday, little Ja. Uncle Scotty's sending love to you nonetheless. Shout out to Elijah. Back on track nonetheless. Can't let the nephew get me out of my zone here. Let's get into predictions, X Factor, goal of the night. I'm going to give all three of them to you here. Let's go with goal of the night first. Goal of the night on Wednesday night, win the turnover battle against the Indiana Pacers. They struggled with turnovers in the game previously. Wanted to see them bounce back. Win the turnover battle against the Pacers. Win the game. Control the controllables is what I like to say there. Tonight, we're going to go in a similar facet. Something I said I might not do last game, but after last game's show, going with the battle of turnovers, them winning the battle of turnovers, it's got me feeling froggy tonight. We're going against the 23rd ranked rebounding team in the NBA. I'm feeling froggy, guys. Tonight, win the rebounding battle without Embiid. Win the rebounding battle against the Chicago Bulls without Embiid, and you will have a real chance at winning this game. They're the 23rd ranked rebounding team in the NBA. You look at the Sixers, they're the 28th. You have to improve at some point. You have to turn the table at some point and become a decent rebounding team. Otherwise, it's going to be an Achilles heel once you get to the playoffs. The reason I'm so optimistic with them winning the rebounding battle, they went against the 26th ranked rebounding team in the Indiana Pacers on Wednesday, and they were able to win that rebounding battle as well as the turnover battle. But the main thing there, control the controllables. You'll win this game. The Sixers, even without Embiid, are better than the Chicago Bulls. I'll leave it there. I will take James Harden over DeMar DeRozan, and I will take literally Tyrese Maxey over Zach LaVine. I will take Tyrese Maxey over Zach LaVine. Don't know about Tyrese Maxey right now coming off the injury, but in reality, on a great day when Tyrese Maxey's in full flow, I'm taking Tyrese Maxey over Zach LaVine all day. And then you can go down the list, Tobias Harris or Vucevic, whatever the hell you want to argue, DeAnthony Melton or Kobe White, blah, blah, blah. I think the Sixers are a better team. If you come out, control the controllables, you're going to beat this Bulls team. X Factor of the night. I kind of talked about it earlier. Tyrese Maxey. I know he hasn't had the typical Tyrese Maxey-esque game. He hasn't looked like himself fully in the last two games since he's been back from that injury. Saw him come to life a little bit in that fourth quarter overtime. Sixers needed him, right? The last couple games when Tyrese Maxey has played and Embiid's been there, Sixers didn't need Maxey to step in and drop 20, right? Drop 20, get 5 assists, and maybe grab a couple boards. Sixers didn't need that. They didn't need 2-3 threes from Tyrese Maxey. They didn't need it. It's not that they won't need it at some point, even with Embiid in the lineup. They just didn't need it. They need it. They need it now. Embiid's out the lineup. And that's why I kind of like this opportunity that Doc has taken. Sixers organization, I don't know if this is Doc's decision, if it's really Embiid's foot injured. Obviously, he twisted his ankle the other night against who was that against? Wasn't against the Pacers. Game before that. I think it was the Pelicans on Monday night, I believe. Twists his ankle. Obviously, I saw that. I was like, he might miss the next game. Ends up missing the next two. maybe, just maybe, you're letting your other star get acclimated, get re-implemented in this lineup, get comfortable, build that chemistry again. But I think tonight, X factor wise, Tyrese Maxey is your guy. I think tonight we see a full bounce back from Tyrese Maxey where we're like, okay, this is the Maxey, the franchise that I know. We're good moving forward. I like Maxey as X factor tonight. I like Maxey to eclipse 20 plus points, 2+ threes, multiple threes in this game for Maxey, and 5+ assists. Fill in the stat sheet, just similar to what he did last game. 17 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists last game. Poor shooting night, 6 for 16, 1 for 4 from the three. I expect better tonight. I expect more efficient, but same type of fill the box sheet, right? Looking at predictions for the game, this is where I'm going to disappoint my Sixers fans. I can't pick them to win every game. I can't. If I did, I would just be non-genuous, right? I would be completely fraudulent if I just picked the Sixers to win every single game they play out of an 82-game season. So I am going to go with the Sixers loss. Nothing specific about this one. Like I said, I think the Sixers are a better team than the Chicago Bulls, even without Embiid. I just have a bad feeling. It's Friday night, and you shouldn't have a bad feeling, but I have a bad feeling that not having Embiid is going to come back to bite the Sixers at some point. And I think it could be tonight against the Chicago Bulls team, coming off a huge W against Brooklyn. This would be a huge type of game that could reshape Chicago's season. You grab 2 in a row against Brooklyn and then Philly on the road. You're talking about the Philadelphia 76ers if they were able to win this. Snap an 11-game home win streak for the Sixers. This would be a monumental win for the Chicago Bulls and could quite honestly reshape their season depending on where they're at as far as being buyers or sellers closer to the trade deadline. I don't know what it is, honestly. Maybe it's the Sixers don't win the rebound battle. Maybe they don't win the turnover battle. Maybe they don't control the controllables. I just have a bad feeling tonight that while the Sixers are 6-3 without Embiid this season, that has to even out at some point, right? They're 3 games over 500 in that territory. That has to even out at some point. I think tonight is one of those games that kind of evens out that record without Embiid. 6-3 moves to 6-4. I do have the Sixers losing this one. I hate to say that. God, I hate picking the other team in these pregame shows. I've probably only done it like 4 or 5 times this season, and I just feel like such a fraud every single time I do it. But I'm going to be real with you guys. Honestly, it's just a gut feeling. I'm not giving you any numbers that point to the Bulls being better than the Sixers tonight, especially in Philly. It's just a bad feeling that I have. You can't win every game without your best player there, right? But I won't go as far as to say the Sixers can't win this game. They can very much win this game, and quite honestly, they should win this game. They are the favorites at home. That being said, Sixers lost tonight. Maxey X factor, 20+ points, 2+ threes, multiple threes in this one, 5+ assists, gets his other teammates involved, starts to get back to his normal self. That'll be the positive to take out of it. Goal of the game, win the rebounding battle, win the turnover battle, control the controllables. I think you do have a good chance of winning this game if you do that. So that is the goal of the game there. But I do have a Sixers loss to the Bulls. I feel so fraudulent. Let's get into our best bets of the night. So I got 3 plays for you guys tonight. I actually have 6 plays for you guys tonight. We only put 3 up there. I don't want to bombard you with a bunch of plays and props. But these are going to be the 3 main ones you want to look at tonight. Harden over 35.5 points and assists, -113. Now, that is on FanDuel. That was the last time I was able to check out the odds about an hour ago. So definitely check. They may have adjusted. I don't see why they would, given the lineup shouldn't change much. But definitely check the odds. -113 last time I checked. Harden over 35.5 points. If you look at that 35.5, he's slated for 24.5. You can go with the points alone if you want to just go over in points. Similar odds for that. Or if you wanted to go the assist route, you can go over 10.5 assists. Similar odds for that. Or you could just combine them here and you'll see what you get with over 35.5 points and assists. I like that. just in case. What if Harden has a 30 burger tonight, right? Maybe he has 30 plus points, only 5 or 6 assists. Then all of a sudden you still hit your mark there. I love that at minus 113. Harden is averaging 22 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds on the season. I see no reason why, without Embiid, the uptick, he shouldn't be able to hit this mark for us. Next, we have Tyrese Maxey over 4.5 assists. That was at plus 122. Once again, FanDuel odds about an hour ago. Make sure to check how up to date those are. But when I laid it, Maxey over 4.5 assists plus 122. You look at Maxey, and what the reason I'm going this route, obviously he had 6 assists last game, so he was able to hit that mark last game. But that's not really what it is for me. What it is for me is that he's not only getting this time with the second unit where Harden goes out of the game, Maxey's still in the game, he runs the offense. He's taken all of the offense, the facilitation responsibilities out of Melton's hands, first of all. Melton, you see in that game, he had 0 assists. He didn't have very many ball handling responsibilities, more of a spot up 3-point shooter, rebounding hustle in drive off kickouts, right? Maxey is the orchestrator for the second unit, but then also in the second half, I don't know if they'll go this route again, but I imagine they'll go one or the other or vice versa. Harden in the first half, the aggressive facilitator in the first half. Then you get to the second half, it was a lot of Maxey facilitating, pushing the ball, getting into his groove. You saw Harden kind of passing it off to Maxey, letting him do his thing. So I loved seeing that. Obviously, Harden at his age isn't going to be able to do it alone at this point as far as running an offense. So let Maxey get involved there. I think 4.5 assists, 5+ assists for Maxey tonight should be easy with the amount of time that he's going to have the ball in his hands, the time that he's going to be facilitating. And like I said, the more we see Maxey, the more minutes he's going to be able to play, the more in shape he's going to be, the more efficient I expect him to be, the more himself I expect him to be. I see him getting up over this 4.5 assist mark at plus 122. Love those odds. And then my man D-Melt. You see the prop, D-Melt over 2.5 threes at plus 102. I can't believe these sports books are still giving plus money on 2.5 D-Melt threes. I can't believe it because I've smashed this number for like the last month and a half at plus money for D-Melt. And these motherfuckers just keep on under, not setting the proper expectation for my man D-Melt. I love D'Anthony Melton, man. I love what he's brought to this team. And sharpshooter is not what I had on my list of qualities when I saw the acquisition of D-Melt in the offseason. But it's one that I'm adding because this man hits. And he's not afraid to let it fly. And that's what I love most about D'Anthony. He's going to get up 8 to 9 threes in every game. Doesn't matter his role. Doesn't matter where he's at. He's going to get up 8 to 9 threes in every game. I don't know if that's what he's coached to do. I would imagine it is, given the rate that he hits them at. But whether it's with Harden or with Maxey running the show, D-Melt's going to get his ops. I like D-Melt over 2.5 threes. He's hit that mark in his last 3 games specifically. Obviously, last game against Indiana, he had 5 threes in that game. So I smashed that number. Some afterthought, I guess, plays that you could call them. Harden, 30+ points. I mentioned that earlier. Why not? 30+ points at plus 230. Check the odds on that, obviously, but I love that play. The next one, Levine over 2.5 threes at plus 104. Really just like that because it's plus money. I think Chicago's going to need those from Levine tonight against the second-rated defensive team in the NBA. But once again, that's an afterthought. I didn't necessarily want to lay it. I did like it, though. Maxey, 3+ threes tonight at plus 165. Absolutely love it. I know I said 2+ threes for his X Factor mark. I think he gets back to normal. He's going to hit 3, 4, 5 threes in a game at some point after returning from the injury. I think tonight could be that night. I love Tyrese Maxey, 3+ threes at plus 165. He should continue to get more and more opportunities as he gets reacclimated. And I forgot to write down my last play of the night I got for you guys. I'm feeling froggy after last night because I'll be honest with you. I laid on a Jason Tatum triple-double. Mind you, it was at plus 3,200. it was an afterthought. Literally, I'm looking at everything. I'm trying to find my favorite plays of the night for that Celtics Mavericks game, and I just stumble across it. I was actually looking for the Luka Doncic triple double to be absolutely honest. Get there, I see plus 3,200. I'm like, well, I mean, what the heck? It's a Thursday night nationally televised game. Jason Tatum's playing at MVP level. Got to bounce back from that loss against OKC. I was expecting a Jason Tatum masterclass. Didn't necessarily get that. He shot the ball really badly, but he was able to get his second career triple-double on the night that I lay him. Never have laid a Jason Tatum triple-double in my life. Laid it last night. It hit plus 3,200. So going back to the well tonight, James Harden triple-double. Not the odds like Jason Tatum's, obviously. Harden gets triple-doubles way more often than Tatum. Triple-double tonight, plus 550 for James Harden. I just have a gut feeling while Embiid is out, Harden's going to get a triple-double one of these nights. Maybe even when Embiid gets back. He's just kind of due for a triple-double with the amount of production that he puts out. So I love that play at plus 550 for the James Harden triple-double. Got plenty of plays tonight, guys. I'm feeling froggy. I had the big win last night, so I'm kind of going in tonight, obviously, as you can see with the 7 plays that I have there for you. Only laid 6 of them. I didn't lay the Levine. Something to look at if you're curious. It's one I like, just didn't love. But these 3, I absolutely love these. The stats back them. The trends back them. The trajectory backs them. Let's go ahead. Let's cash some tickets tonight. Harden over 35.5 points and assists combined. Maxey over 4.5 assists. Melton over 2.5 threes. Let's cash tickets, guys. Guys, that is all I have for you tonight. I'm sorry that I'm picking the Sixers to lose this one. Obviously, I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I'm hoping that I'm wrong about it because I never want to be right if it's me picking the Sixers or the Eagles or the Phillies or the Flyers or the Union to lose. Never want to be right if that's the case. But tonight, I do have the Sixers losing on our Friday night. Don't let it ruin you. Don't let it ruin your night. Sixers have won 11 straight at home. They won 3 straight. Embiid should be back soon. Doc Rivers said he's not concerned about that injury. So just relax on this Friday night. Maybe the Sixers get the W. Like I said, they should. I just have a really bad gut feeling about the game. But nonetheless, guys, have a great rest of your night. I will be back here tomorrow morning around 10:30, 11. Haven't decided on the official time for NFL Turf Talk tomorrow, but we will be previewing the full NFL slate for the weekend. And then on Sunday, we will be back with Eagles pregame show. So we'll get you covered before that huge matchup with the Giants where the Eagles can lock up the 1 seed. Guys, stay locked in the DSM Media all weekend. Turn the notifications on so you're notified whenever we go live. You don't even have to worry about it. You'll get a notification. And be sure to hit that subscribe button, guys. Help us get to 700 and then ultimately help us get to 1,000. Let's get monetized and really get you the content that you guys deserve, high quality. But, guys, have a great rest of your evening. Happy Friday. Happy New Year. Go Sixes.